Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about big news from OpenSea.
Mhm.
So it turns out that these guys have raised $23 million in the private round, Series A, and one of their biggest investors was A16Z.
Mhm.
And so if you don't know who A16Z, it's basically Andreessen Horowitz, one of the biggest investors on the planet, right? Super billionaire.
Yeah,
And
big guy behind what, like Uber,
Yeah, he
pretty much
basically,
everything.
Facebook invested in all these huge companies, and so they're leading the round for the $23 million raise with OpenSea, and one of their founders, Dan Finzer. Yeah, here we go. So Dan Finzer was a growth engineer at Pinterest, sold his previous company to Credit Karma, and studied computer science at Brown, and then his co-founder Alex previously built cybersecurity products at Palantir, selling a music streaming company to Beatport. So these guys are big names in the sense that they've already sold some companies in the past. Now they're working on OpenSea. They just raised $23 million from the biggest investor on the planet potentially.
Mhm.
And so why are we talking about it, Iman?
I mean, it's important to talk about. For one, OpenSea is one of the OG platforms for NFTs. They capitalized during the time when people were speculating and experimenting with NFTs, like in late 2017 after CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties was that breakthrough moment for the blockchain industry where somebody finally created an application that had like viral demand. These cute little images of cats came out and you could own them. They were forever on the blockchain. And I remember back in those days, like it was so in demand that it
Yeah,
it showcased all of the downsides of Ethereum scaling dilemma, basically.
yeah.
The whole network pretty much got clogged.
You know
So
what?
these guys,
And these was scaling a dilemma before CryptoKitties. Do you remember in
well, it was
2017?
like it was like a
Potential problem.
everyone knew there was like an impending problem. Like you could see the Ethereum network just slowly becoming more and more like
Yeah,
in the red zone. Like, oh shit,
yeah,
shit's about to get really bad. And as soon as CryptoKitties comes, I was like
yeah,
it's just we're done. Like
yeah,
we're at max capacity. So the narrative cooks up like what the fuck? Like how are we supposed to be like the internet of the future if we can't even handle one app? You know,
yeah.
there's maybe like 10,000 users or something like that. So that's where all these new next gen blockchains start writing their white papers. Like, you know what? We're coming. We're going to
Yeah.
capitalize on this and we're going to be the ones to solve this problem.
Yeah. And we
And
have an ICO.
yeah, hence $4 billion ICOs and shit like that,
Yeah.
because that was the narrative of the time, because the CryptoKitties made that narrative.
Yeah.
So, but these guys, OpenSea, they capitalize on the idea of like, okay, we have these new assets emerging in the blockchain space, but they're fragmented, right? Like, how is a user supposed to understand any information about them? How are they supposed to trade with one another?
Hmm.
Similar to how cryptocurrencies were back in before Mt. Gox, right?
Yeah.
You just had bitcoins floating around all over the world, but how are you supposed to trade them? How are you supposed to form like an actual market with them?
Yeah.
So OpenSea did that. I think they were one of the pioneers in actually making NFTs into a legitimate market. And here we are 4 years later, right?
Yeah. 4 years. Yeah.
Now they're getting, handsomely rewarded for this pioneering.
Yeah. And $23 million is a ton of money.
It really is, especially in the crypto space. Like, not many projects raise that kind of private round
Yeah.
funding. Like, of course, there's plenty of projects that raise that from like a public sale, but from a private round, I haven't seen that too often.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
So
So,
to us, like NFT guys, right? Like us in the NFT industry, it's a big deal. Like it's like it's our,
it's
well,
a
I don't know what we correlate this to,
it's
but
a light at the end of the tunnel, right?
kind of it's maybe
There's
yeah,
interest from like huge billionaire investors into the NFT space. So if that's happening with OpenSea, then you know that there's other billionaire investors looking for competitors to OpenSea
exactly.
because they're not going to lose out in this race either, right? Everybody's competing with each other, including investors.
Exactly. So this investment kind of like legitimizes the NFT sector, which we kind of already knew was legit just based off of like, demand and the volume and stuff.
Yeah.
But this like actually legitimizes it from like an institutional perspective. Now there's going to be like institutional money like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I want a piece of this NFT market. Like, how do I? They're going to be exploring, looking for new projects to invest in.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's important. Like, this is our Netscape moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they had, people like Mark Cuban, Tim Ferriss, Naval Ravikant, and
Yeah.
Alexis Ohanian, the guy who started Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yes.
these are some mainstream like figureheads. You know what I mean?
Andrew Steinwald and
Yeah.
Metapurse.
So now these are more like NFT like personalities.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's getting a piece, which is interesting.
Yeah, OpenSea is a big deal, and there was a stretch in time where we thought OpenSea was like falling behind because we had Rarible drop a token, and Rarible should be a video that we should do individually as well because they have some interesting stuff going on, and
Hmm.
there's some criticisms that we could bring up too with Rarible with their tokenomics.
Hmm.
But so speaking about tokenomics, there's speculation that OpenSea could drop their own token.
Yeah.
And this could be the first of many announcements in the roadmap of OpenSea announcements. And
Yeah.
so we potentially expect OpenSea to drop a token as well, and then ultimately compete head to head on the token level with Rarible.
Hmm. Yeah, like because we know off precedence, usually whenever some kind of crypto project announces a big, investment like this is like you're saying, this is the first of many announcements to come leading up to the big token drop announcement.
Yeah.
Like, and when we have examples of the past of projects who already had established user bases, airdropping these tokens to their community,
Hmm.
with something called Mural. I'm not really sure what the project is, but like a lot of people got airdropped these things called Paint.
Yeah. I got airdropped 193,000 paints.
Damn, son, I didn't get shit. What the hell? So I don't know their airdrop criteria, but regardless, so these things happen in the crypto space,
Yeah.
and they happen quite often these days. Uh, so it's safe. It's not safe too soon, but it's worth the speculation that OpenSea, if they decide like tokenization of their platform is prudent for them, because that's another speculation. Yeah, where does OpenSea go from here? Like you were saying,
Yeah.
do they go this tokenization route, or do they go more of like a Coinbase route? I'm thinking they might just go straight Coinbase mode, meaning like they just keep chugging along. They keep killing it in like the volume game, as in like they're going to become the standard NFT trading platform, just like Coinbase is like the standard crypto exchange, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe one day they'll go public, just like Coinbase is. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they go the token drop route so we could all get our nice free tendies, right? And
Yeah.
then we could become community members for OpenSea, right? Like that's the point. We want to decentralize these ecosystems.
Yeah, I think it ultimately depends on like what their roadmap is from a technical perspective. Because if they drop a token, they almost certainly drop a token of governance, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, what are people going to govern for OpenSea? Like, what would you govern in this situation? Because everything's like set up as it should, right? The only thing you could like govern is what the site looks like, right? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's interesting. Well, what can you govern on variables? And
Yeah, same thing.
yeah, but yeah, see, Rarible has pulled off the governance tokenization angle, and it's not a bad pitch. They have legitimate governance happening within their community. Now you'd have to dive a little deeper to find out exactly what they're proposing and whatnot.
Yeah.
They've done some things that I remember as far as like cleaning up the platform. Maybe at one point Rarible was polluted with pornography. I remember
Hmm.
like it had tons of like naked women. That was like the
Really?
the big. Yeah, you don't remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, dude. It's every time we went to Rarible.com, like the front page was basically just like nudes.
Oh,
I mean, I think the community like recognized this isn't a good look, right? So I think what they did is that they split that sector into like like an XXX category,
yeah.
and now I don't even think like it exists. So I think the community might have just decided, you know what, we don't want like inappropriate content on our marketplace.
Yeah.
So these are governance decisions that a community can figure out.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's a good use case. I mean, that seems like a simple one. I don't know how much a community is required for a decision like that. That's like, that
It's not
seems like
required, right?
it's like good
But
business decision.
yeah, but it's not required in the sense that uh, you know the founders could have just been like, no, we don't want this to happen, but that's not decentralized a decentralized decision. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I mean the reason why we're bringing this up is because the one of the main use cases for projects to do a governance token is to add utility to a token instead of a security token. And so it is a common way to try to avoid regulatory uh, pressure for a project to release a token, right? It's like, hey, this is not a security token. This is a governance token. You need this token to do some function and interact with the platform.
yeah,
And
true.
we're seeing a lot of tokens exist without that real functionality, right? It's just, hey, it's a governance token, and that's about all you can use it for.
For now, maybe like part of the governance application is the DAO figures out a new utility use case for these tokens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Wearable state.
that's not to say that, these tokens can't be useful. It's more
Mhm.
of like there's a strategy by projects out there who are not being who are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't have high integrity. And they release a token and call it a governance token to avoid, securities regulation. And even
Yeah,
if you call it a governance token and it's still used as a governance token, it can still be considered a security.
yeah, because like at the end of the day, in a lot of cases, the reason why projects make these tokens in the first place is to secure funding for the further development of these projects. Investors in the space need these tokens in order for them to even participate in a lot of cases.
Hence, security, right? If your token is used to raise money, that's a security.
Yeah, true.
But
And
then, then they call it, hey, but this is you're actually buying governance tokens. Then it's
mhm.
like, you get into the gray area, but the SEC isn't having that. But anyway, this is an SEC video. It's more about speculating on OpenSea's token drop, which potentially could happen. So, what would you suggest, Iman, if you were to get allocation for this token? How can you secure an allocation if there were one?
Yeah, hopefully we're not too late in the sense that, but you know, the best thing to do to potentially secure your allocation is to at least just start interacting with this platform. Yeah.
Interacting has a very specific definition. It's either create and sell something or buy something.
Yeah,
That's
because we don't know the tokenomic. If they do tokenize, everyone has their own allocation, right? Strategy. So they could be rewarding volume based off of like the
mm-hmm.
amount you purchased or sold on this marketplace. If that's the case, then it's probably pretty late for you to like, create a brand and a product and to like really market that thing and generate a ton of sales through OpenSea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That takes some time to do. But maybe their token allocation is simply if you've created an account with this platform, if you've at least executed one transaction, you're getting that equal allocation to everybody else. That's
Right.
happened in the past. We've seen platforms distribute that way. So the best thing you could do is at least do that. I feel like
Yeah.
at least get on the platform, make your account, find any NFT you like. Go shopping, dude. Pretend this is Amazon. Like have a blast looking at all the cool NFTs in existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Buy some shoes, dude.
There you go. Buy some hot kicks with some Atari logo on them, and then go make yourself a Decentraland character. Go claim a name for $100. Pretty expensive these days, but go claim a name and
It's
go put
true.
them on. You know?
Yeah. When we were jumping into Decentraland, it was 100 mana, which at the time was like $3.
And even then, I was like, dude, people might not pay this much to make a
Yeah,
name.
exactly.
And here we are, $100 name claim, dude. But you know what? The name market's like actually hotter than it's ever been for
Yeah.
Decentraland. So what the fuck do I know, dude? Like things are getting crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole new world you could explore with these NFTs. So just if you're trying to like, secure your potential token allocation without breaking the bank, definitely look for something cheap, which is difficult to do because the gas prices are pretty insane.
Yeah.
And because of that, the NFT valuations are definitely inflated. But still, it might be worth it. Like, because we're talking usually these airdrops usually range like in $1,000 range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these token allocations, you usually end up just getting like a nice little stimulus from Daddy Crypto. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So you don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah, so it's not too complicated. Just interacting with the platform, connect your wallet, buy something, make something, sell something, and maybe even if you do this today, maybe you'll catch this wave and get the allocation. If there is one, there's no rumors of any kind that we've heard of.
Well, there's rumors,
Well, there's
but
rumors, but like
they're
beyond,
just rumors. Yeah,
yeah, they're just rumors. So
exactly. But it's worst case. It doesn't happen. Whatever. You got a cool NFT now.
yeah,
Fuck it, dude.
yeah,
YOLO. It's like at least now you got something cool, like a blockchain asset.
right. All right, guys, that's the video for today. Hopefully, you guys learned something about OpenSea. Let us know if you have any questions. Comment below, like, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.